what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. Today is your Takeover Tuesday edition, and I have some update about Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Let's get it.
How about Caitlin? Is she going to be ready for tomorrow?
Oh, not for tomorrow. No. I think for us, it's we've got to work both her and Sophie back into, are they in basketball condition? What does it mean to go live? It's one thing to do some shooting drills. It's another thing to get out there on the floor, get back into to movement patterns, rhythm, timing. And so that's what part of, picking and choosing the things that they can be in practice so that we can see their progression. And both of them being out for long periods of time, you got to work your way back into being game ready.
I know Caitlin was supposed to be reevaluated this weekend. Was she cleared to return to basketball activities?
I don't know if cleared is the right word.
Okay.
I mean, we're ready to start ramping back up and make sure, it's completely different when you're just doing one-on-one workouts and when you're out there in 5-on-5, getting up and down the floor, moving laterally. So she's been allowed to do some practicing, not everything. And we're gonna be smart and we're gonna be cautious and we're gonna play the long game and work her back in very intentionally.
So you got to hear what she had to say about Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. So most likely, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham will be playing tomorrow, or most likely won't be back until the New York or the Connecticut game. But here's a practice session. All right, so again, you got to see some practice footage where Sophie and Caitlin are just shooting around and to participating drills. Nothing serious, no full court, nothing. And like Stephanie White said, they have to be. It's a long way to practice and be like in game shape, ready. So all of that I think is being worked on. With last time we heard that Caitlin Clark was working with Keith Porter and everything like that, doing some drills and stuff like that. So like I said before, my estimation was the New York game, which is Saturday. And then the week after that, I think they play Tuesday or Wednesday, they play Connecticut. So it was when the initial injury took place, I say around about 3 to 4 weeks after the reevaluation, because even though they're playing in the Commissioner's Cup, they're undefeated. I have a feeling they could beat Atlanta. They could beat Atlanta. Now, check this out. If they do lose the New York game at home next Saturday, there will be what, 3-1. They still have one game left. That'll be Connecticut. If she comes back by that time, then they could win that game and then probably most likely play New York again in the championship. So that will be a pretty good setup, whatever the case might be. Now, I want to disclose something really, really quick before I get into the next clip. A lot of people fail to understand what the hardship contract means and what it stands by. Now, per the CBA, tomorrow I will do a full breakdown of this so y'all can get a full understanding. For as of right now, with the hardship, because we was below 10 players, we was able to bring in Ari McDonald. Now, if Sophie or Caitlin was to come back, if they give a time frame for them to come back, they can still sign Ari McDonald to a full contract. But this will what needs to happen. There has to be a 48-hour window prior to the time their CC or Sophie is cleared. And then they will have to cut somebody to match the salary that they have. Now, I think Bree Turner and Bree is making 80,000. Sydney is making 95. So I think they have roughly like 47, 50,000 on the books right now. So whatever they need to sign Ari McDonald to, that because they have to prorate that from what they have to pay one of them players they cut, and to immediately sign her. They don't have to release Ari McDonald to sign her on. They just have to do it within the 48-hour window and just change the hardship contract. But like again, I will go into more details on this tomorrow in another video, because I think it's very, very important for people to understand, because there's so much stuff going on. People saying this, people saying that. So, oh, we can't keep Ari McDonald, or this needs to happen. It has to be a 10-day window, and all of this stuff. No, per the verbiage in the CBA contract, that you can bring in a hardship person. And there's a lot of people in the Chicago Sky network, Chicago Sky media, content media, thinking that because if Caitlin Clark come back, we're not going to be able to keep Ari McDonald. That's false thinking too. So anyway, now I'm gonna give you an update on Stephanie White and how she's been feeling when she was out the last game. So here's that.
First off, just like, how are you doing? How's your family doing after that being away for a couple days?
Thanks. I'm doing all right. It's helpful that we have such a great group that pouring into me and helping give me strength. I've said it all along. Like, we've got 3 head coaches on our staff, and so knowing that they continue to step up and do great things, it gives me comfort. Our family's working through a hard time right now, and no matter what, I'm gonna be where my feet are. But I'm really thankful for this group.
So I'm glad to see her back, and again, prayers and shout out to her and her family for whatever they're going through, because sometimes family situations is pretty tough. We don't know the details of it, but she's back at practice, and I'm sure she's going to be coaching tomorrow's game, because they will be going to Atlanta to play to actually play in Atlanta again. Now, the last time they was in Atlanta, they did beat them. So hopefully this time around, it'll be a little bit different. I think this team will beat Atlanta this time. I don't think Atlanta is that strong enough now, and they don't have Caitlin on the court, and they will Atlanta will have to play them a little bit differently. So we'll see. But again, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham will not play in tomorrow's game. Again, like I said, it could be down by Saturday, the New York game, or the Connecticut Sun game following next week. That will give it 3 weeks out if they follow that plan. So for right now, don't expect her to play in Atlanta or the New York game. That's what I'm just cautioning y'all right now. So like I said, I will give more update on the hardship situation. And this is enough to continue to get Ari McDonald custom with the team a little bit more, keep her flowing a little bit more, because I think the Fever if we know anything about the Indian Fever, how they've been moving through the offseason, through free agency and everything else, they've been pretty solid. They don't spill the beans out the bag when it comes to their players or what they're trying to do or what moves they're trying to make. So like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell anytime I drop a hardcore video. Until the next episode, you know what it is, because what? If you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying.